basketball player, but who doesn't? Who can't? You and I went back and forth ahead of his draft. I said I liked him, but I think Zion's going to be a greater force in the league just because he's so much bigger. And I did worry a little bit about Ja's size and about his ability to shoot the three. He really struggled his first year to shoot the three. And as you say, he got in somebody's lab. I don't know what lab he got into, but he showed me a lot about his dedication and discipline in the offseason when it comes to basketball, period, end of story, because he turned himself into the NBA's most improved player, turned his whole game back around by making three-point shots in his second year. I was highly impressed with that. Then the incident happened. Yeah.
You mean incident or incidents with an S?
I'm about to go into that.
Okay.
Because I had swept all the previous little incidents under my little carpet or rug over on this side. I know you got one over there too. But I kept trying to say, well, it's okay. It's okay. And then the Washington Post continued to dig into all these incidents, and they did a first-rate job of getting to the bottom of all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these incidents. And the total impact of them wasn't just eye-opening, it was frightening. Because every little incident started to look bigger and bigger in the context of what happened the night after they lost at Denver, which was a huge game. It was Memphis at Denver. This is 2 seed against 1 seed. What you got? Well, Denver got them good in the second half of that game. Now let's go back to said incidents, which I tried to overlook because I did like this kid. And when he speaks like that, when I see him speak like that, I say he's got it together. He understands. All right, there was the Finish Line store incident at the mall. His mom, Ja's mom, gets into it with an employee by the name of, since he went public with his name, Gavon Busby. It's Givon. I hope I'm pronouncing it the right way. Gavon Busby. He's just some kid working at the Finish Line. Gets into it. She doesn't like his service. You know how that happens. And you get a little irritated. One thing leads to another. But she doesn't just call the manager. She calls her son. This kid's giving me problems. I'll be there. I got you. Ja, within 15 minutes, shows up at the Finish Line at the mall with, according to Busby and the people who worked at the store, with 8 or 9 friends. I'm not talking about 2 or 3. This says 8 or 9. The kid has to lock himself in the storeroom, and Ja goes back in the back and is banging on the storeroom door saying, come out, I'm going to beat your you-know-what up. I'm going to beat your you-know-what. Okay, all right. This goes on for, the kid said, 30 or 40 minutes. And finally...
Why would your mom even call and put her son in that situation, knowing your son is an NBA All-Star? Knowing your son, who your son is, why would you even put him in that situation?
This is so outrageous. It's so over the top, over the line for what this kid said. So anyway, then Ja and his group go into the parking lot, and the head of mall security follows them into the parking lot, and they get into it, and he claims that somebody in the group, I could maybe guess which that somebody was, shoves him, pushed him in the face, and he felt so threatened because Ja said, according to the police report filed, that I'm gonna find out when you get off, and I'm gonna come back and we're gonna finish this. So he files a police report saying that Ja threatened him. Okay, this is insult to injury. And the group won't leave the premises. Okay, then we got we all remember this one. This was the alleged assault of the 17-year-old basketball player from Memphis. He went public, so his name is Joshua Holloway, because now he's suing Ja. And Joshua Holloway alleges that both Ja and this friend in question, Devontae Pack, punched him repeatedly in the head over a backyard basketball game. And later, Holloway alleged to police that Ja flashed a gun on him that he had in his belt as he left the property. And then Ja said he was reacting in self-defense because the kid had threatened to come back and get him. Okay, here we go again, not a great look. Then we have the volleyball game incident in which his mom is watching his sister play basketball at a local, it's called Houston High School in Memphis. And somebody says something to the sister/daughter who's playing in the volleyball game, a student up in the I think it was a female student. And once again, mom calls Ja, and here he comes with his guys, and they're going to, so to speak, police this incident. There's a security guard who tries to stop them from going up into the stands to confront the teenage, the student, and one of them gets through. I could guess which one did get through, and got up into the stands and confronted and took the phone away from the student and smashed the phone. And there was a report filed, no charges were pressed. But again, it's going from bad to worse. And finally, we got the Indiana Pacers incident. So then Devontae Pack, the best friend,
who's been suspended from the arena for at least a year.
This was that night in question. Okay. So he's getting into it during the game with the Pacers because he's sitting in the front row. And it gets so bad that he walks onto the court to confront one of the Pacers, and security escorts him not only off the court, but completely out of the arena, and he is banned for the rest of this year. Right. So I don't know how going forward what that will mean, but that's all I know. And then you know what happened after the game. Ja allegedly is sitting in a car driven by Devontae Pack with some others in the car. And as the Pacers are leaving on the loading dock to get into their bus, there's a red laser dot that is flickering around on all of them, like on their heads. And it is assumed those are coming from guns inside the car, according to Pacers security. The NBA investigated and said, we can't prove that, validate that. Okay, and that leads to what happened at Denver. Okay, so here's my issue with what happened at Denver, and I'll restate my case on this. Memphis is up 8 at halftime. Ja had a big first half, 19 points, had made a couple of threes, all 5 of his free throws. Then they come out in the second half, and they lose the second half 63-39. Ja has only 8 points and goes 2 of 10 from the floor. Then he goes straight to, what's it called, Shotgun Willie's.
Shotgun Willie. But only after Steven Adams calls a team meeting.
Okay.
Say, we need to be better, guys. We need to be more focused.
True. So it appeared he goes to celebrate, help me out, what? You had just lost a 2-seed versus 1-seed game at their place, and you had stunk in the second half, and you'd gotten blown off the floor, and that is cause to celebrate exactly what? I don't know, but he appeared to be celebrating, and the NBA concluded that he was intoxicated. They used that in their final report, intoxicated. So you and I went back and forth about it, and the next thing we know, both Ja's statement and a statement from the Grizzlies said he needs help and he is seeking help. And the next thing we know, there's a report that he has gone to a facility in Florida. We don't know exactly why he went to that facility, because later he said it had nothing to do with any alcohol problems that he has. So I'm not sure what it was. It was just some sort of mind adjustment, he said. And he is suspended for all of 17 total games. I'm sorry, days. He misses 8 games. 8 games in 17 days. I know a whole lot about these facilities. I'll give you an example. Tiger Woods once went to a facility in Mississippi. He was there for 42 days because most of them require
at least
6 weeks is the usual. Minimum 3 weeks, but they prefer to really get you right, they need 6 weeks. Tiger was there for 42 days, so he was there for a little over the 6 weeks.
To unlearn a behavior.
That is correct.
I've sent my dogs off several times, always at least 8 weeks.
Okay, there you go. Bingo. Dogs are a lot like humans, like that.
To learn a behavior or to unlearn a behavior.
Yes. I'm not sure what they did. We thought about sending Hazel off, but it
might be a little bit too late.
It's a little rough. No, might be a little too rough for her, but whatever.
Well, you better bring Dr. Caesar Milan in. Maybe he could help.
Okay, well, that's who we were going to send him off with, and Caesar came to the house at one point, and he was rough on her, man. He gets very physical with those dogs because he said, they're dogs. You got to treat them like animals. Anyway, that's a whole nother issue. Okay, so I felt when it's announced he's back, I felt completely bamboozled. Like, we just got taken for the biggest ride ever.
Yeah.
He didn't go anywhere. I question whether he even went to Florida to the facility because he couldn't have been there more than a week.
Everybody was questioning whether did he go to a drive-through facility?
That's bingo. That's good.
Because he was there in no length of time. Skip, what you just outlined, it seemed like 4 of the 6 incidents involved a gun.
Thank you.
4 of the 6. And so now we're starting to see what in law enforcement called modus operandi. There's something, there's an underlying current here that seems to be this is his method of operation.
Okay, I got it. So suddenly he's back on the floor. They play at Houston, then they play Houston again at home. After his first home game, which he had a good game, but Luke Kennard had made a franchise record 10 three-point shots. So Luke Kennard is the guest of honor after the game for the local TV. So he's being interviewed on the floor. And I think we have what happened when Ja photobombed him and jumped in, and this is what he said.
It's a parade inside my city,
Okay, in and of itself, I got no problem with that. I know the song, you just referred to the song. I actually like the song. I like the sound of the song. I just don't like what the song says. And I especially didn't like it in this context because allegedly he had just come back from some facility in Florida to get his mind right. And you refer to that song, which is all about guns and drugs and running a city. I looked up a line this morning. Got that iron in here. Yeah, I got it right by my belt. Okay, that seems to be his mantra of life. I got it right here. I got it right in my belt. And I'll use it whenever I want to use it. And it felt like the NBA had protected him so much to a fault that it actually enabled his behavior to continue.
Yeah.
He felt empowered to refer to that line when he's supposed to be on maybe not his best behavior, but a little better behavior.
Right.
And again, I got no issue with the song in any other context, but it just showed me he didn't learn a thing. Really.
I don't think he did, Skip. And I don't know. Guys that I know that carry the stick, you don't know they got it until it's too late. They ain't telling you they got it.
No.
You just find out the hard way they got it.
Okay. Well, that's, yeah. And you keep making the case, he's not about that. He wants to look like it.
Well, there was a crip from Memphis say, hey, y'all, you really about that life? Come hang with your boy on some good stuff. Hey, well, hey, nothing, hey, and see what it's really like to live.
Yeah, like that.
Think about that life, Skip.
Okay.
You ain't somebody running up on you, kicking in your door. Hey, come on, bro. That ain't no way to live. No. Skip, you got 50 mil. Who in the hell wants to go back to the trenches of the mud when I'm up here?
Yeah.
You did everything what you could to get from here to there.
Yeah.
And now that you're here, you know what? Hey, down there wasn't too bad. What?
That's a big what.
And